Moldova is a true mecca of wine in Eastern Europe. This country is sandwiched between Ukraine and Romania. Vineyards occupy a quarter of its territory, and almost a quarter of the population produce Moldovan wine.
Oh,
My god, this is heaven on earth. If it wasn't for bad luck, it would have been no luck at all. Since the Russian Federation banned the import of Moldovan wine to its territory, local winemakers were oriented to the European market, which has significantly improved the quality of wine.
It's something incredible.
Strangely enough, this land is not too popular among tourists, but it also has its advantages. Namely, there are no large crowds of travelers to prevent you from admiring the landscapes. Another reason for envy is that Moldova celebrates the National Day of Wine every year. It is, by the way, a public holiday, though they can celebrate any holiday every day. There is enough wine for everyone in their wine cellars. The central square of Chisinau is a great place to begin exploring the city. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. I love these moments. Listen, Moldova is a cool country, really. Cheerful, green.
I know, this is not the first time I'm here.
So what famous Moldovans do you know?
Sofia Rotaru?
Well, there are the singers Bobo, Lilia Sandulesu, Dan Belen, even Eugen Doga.
Because they drink wine?
That's because they drink wine, I think so.
Then let's make a deal that you've got to try homemade wine.
Agreed.
And traditional dishes.
I agree.
And walk a bluff of a mountain.
You want me to miss the tasting, right?
And prepare a passport for the tasting.
Fine. But first I'm going to go dancing, and only then complete your challenges.
But there is not that much time, so don't dance all night long.
Okay, see you later.
Ciao.
Don't stop dancing, but watch carefully. The password will be waiting for you at the end, remember it. Be the first to come to the winery and receive an unexpected prize.
If Dionysus ever descends from heaven to earth, he would definitely settle in Moldova. He would also probably visit the wine cellars of Cricova. Previously, it was an impossible dream for simple mortals to visit this place. The entrance to the underground kingdom of wine was only available to the chosen ones. But today, they even hold sports races, festivals, and simply excursions here. All that at the depth of 100 meters. There are those who want to get in line for an electric car and explore the world of quality wine. Soon, I will become one of those lucky people.
My soul desires a fresh cultural breath of air, and I'm sure I will get it at the Orheiul Historical Complex. To see Orheiul from above, so to speak, I have to go up this windy path. It looks like I'm going on my own today. There are not many volunteers. Why not? I'm definitely going to taste wine and eat the national Moldovan dish in the end. So going on a good hike would be fun. Although... Tell me, is it far to the top?
About 1 kilometer.
A kilometer? But if I go up to the church, will I get the best view from there?
Yeah, from here. The view will be fantastic.
So could you maybe give me a lift?
Okay, just let me turn around.
I really like Moldova. As soon as I arrived here, the adventure started. Hey now, steady. I'm scared. Can cars even go there? I'm already afraid.
If wine is the blood and soul of Moldova, then the vineyards are its arteries. Grapevine grows almost on every suitable tract of Moldovan land. Then, as if after a wave of a magic wand, it turns into delicious wine. The fact is that the royal family of Great Britain orders Moldovan wine on a regular basis, so that's a reason to be proud.
We are in the Codru region. We have 2 zones where we grow grapes. Those are the Criulieni and the Cricova zones, where we are now.
Speaking of soil, I noticed the fact that it's very different from other regions. This is standard black soil.
We are in the central zone. Nearby are the natural reserves Codru and Lisam. Therefore, our soil is brown, grey and also typical black soil with a low level of humus. Thank you. After all, there are kind people in the world. Orheiul is a known place of power. It is overwhelming with its energy and is striking by its unusual silence. It seems that time stands still in this place. This area attracts true adventurers, especially those who are not afraid of radical changes and even crave for them. Just like me. A lot of people discovered something new about themselves in Orheiul, something they wouldn't even think of. This place is breathtaking, and the right thoughts come to mind. Every cell of your body dissolves in this atmosphere.
Right now, I'm starting the most exciting tour of the Cricova winery, which I believe can easily be considered the eighth wonder of the world. This is something incredible. Can you imagine? There's a 120-kilometer-long underground city. Every street has its own name. For example, Chardonnay or Dionysus Street. We're on Cabernet Sauvignon Street. And here's Sauvignon Street. I should have dressed warmer. It is strange to see road signs in the underground. Give way or only make a right turn. It is said that cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin got lost when walking through these wine catacombs. He was not the only one. To be honest, I'm already lost. Where are we now, and how many turns did we make?
Yet another prominent spot is beckoning me like a magnet. I don't resist. And trusting my inner voice, I end up where it is usually easy on the heart, and only bright thoughts are in my mind. The Church of the Blessed Virgin stands above the valley. Nearby is a stone cross. On the cross is a flower with 6 petals, which stands for the center of spiritual forces and the heart of the Moldovan people. According to a legend, if a person touches the middle of the cross and makes a wish, it will definitely come true. Hello, what's your name? Do you know the way down into the cave? Do you come here often? Can one come here during the night? Does your mother let you come here? Give me your hand, show me, I'm scared. Apparently it was worth overcoming the fear. The reward for that is this incredible view. There are numerous caves in the rocks that rise above the river Argut. They were used to wait on the raids of invaders. Hermit monks lived and continue to live in these caves. Ancient caves, steep cliffs, everything here is eternal. Even though many rocks fell into the river due to earthquakes, that which remains is extremely valuable. The only way to make sure of it is to see it with your own eyes.
Hello. Hello. It's something incredible. Welcome to our wine collection. Our collection begins with a small museum, Moldovan press from the 19th century. Such presses can be found in our villages to this day, when we made homemade wine. This small wooden tray was traditionally used to crush grapes. Only unmarried girls had the right to do that with their bare feet. That is, you could choose a bride right there on the spot. Of course, the famous Sauvignon. The whole history of quality, of course. One of the most famous sparkling wines in Cricova is Grand Vintage. The collection was founded in 1954. We call these shelves casa, in Italian a house, in which is stored. If we input this number into our database, we will find all the necessary information about this particular sort of wine. The first cosmonaut, Yuri Gagarin, this place was visited by presidents, politicians, actors and writers. A lot of celebrities. We are in the presidential alley. Here, various celebrities store their private collections. Among them are those of President of Ukraine, Petro Poroshenko, Jose Manuel Barroso, Klaus Johannes, Traian Băsescu, Donald Tusk and John Kerry. This is perhaps the oldest bottle in this hall. This is a red Jewish Easter dessert wine from Jerusalem of 1902. Just one batch of 400 bottles was produced in 1902. This bottle is the last bottle in the world that has preserved to this day. I want to introduce the famous Hermann Goering collection. He was Hitler's right-hand man, the field marshal of the Nazi Air Force during World War II. After the end of the war, his collection was expropriated, almost 30,000 bottles. At the moment, we have about 2,000 bottles. First, I'd like to present to you the famous Châteauneuf du Pape, which is one of the most famous wines in the world. Pay attention, we have a dessert Takagi wine from 1956 from Ukraine. Almost all of the bottles in this collection are dusty, and the dust settles in a natural way. It serves as a means of protection from light. Ukraine as well? Yes, the Black Sea Ruby, a dessert wine of 1958. But of course, for our guests, not to forget when they visited Cricova. This year's collection consists of bottles of red and white wine. To avoid confusion between the two sorts of wine, every year we change the last digit or the last two digits on the label of the bottle. This is symbolic for us.
Hello, goat. That goat's kinda unfriendly. Moldovan settlements are occasionally similar to our Ukrainian ones. Unfortunately, their villages are becoming deserted. The youth are going to big cities and Europe to earn decent money. According to one of the censuses, there was one resident per 3 villages. But it's not all that bad, as the Moldovans are good people. Their food is delicious and wine flows instead of water. The locals say that there are countless treasures at the bottom of some water wells. Who knows whether that's a legend or the truth?
We are at the heart of the production of classic sparkling wines. We have kilometers of tunnels here, on both sides of which you can see bottles with this magnificent libation of the royalty. When it comes to the technological process for the production of classical sparkling wines, only 3 varieties of grapes are used. Those are Pinot Meunier, Pinot Noir and Chardonnay sorts. During fermentation, sugar consumes all the yeast, forming alcohol and carbon dioxide, and since it has nowhere else to go, it saturates the wine and forms the specific bubbles. And now we're going to try and mix it completely to see just how cloudy it becomes, because the residue is basically all yeast. Just look at the brightness of the drink itself. The main purpose of placing bottles on such a wooden rack is to make sure that all these sediments gradually accumulate in the neck of the bottle. After aging, ediment are revoked for first fermentation. Our team of specialists is made up of 6 experts. All of them are women. They turn from 25,000 to 30,000 bottles in one shift. The women that turn bottles have marked each bottle with paint to see at which level it remains to control the process. That is probably their special secret. That's a beer cork. I see that this is done because it's easy to remove. Yes, you're absolutely right.
It is said that almost every local has their own wine cellar. Tell me, do you make wine at home? Of course. What kind, white or red? Both white and red. I see you have your own vineyard and it's very beautiful. Where's your husband? He's working in Italy. How would you compare Italian wine and Moldovan wine that you make? Well, I think Moldovan wine is better, but I'm not sure. The landlady of the house kindly treated me with homemade wine. I have to check its date as a persnickety sommelier. Dear God, this is heaven on earth.
After riddling, we need to get rid of the sediments by a process called disgorging. Of course, it's a mechanical process now, but today we have reinstated the classical tradition of opening the bottle by hand. So I give you this bottle, so you can try and open it yourself by hand. Can I actually do this? Yes, you can. Have you ever tried to do this? To be honest, I dreamt of it, but I have never even held such tools in my hands. The person who has opened at least 1 million bottles is considered a good disgorger. Let's not forget about safety. Put on the mask. It's time to switch from theory to practice. Please. I don't remember the last time my heart beat so fast. There were 6 atmospheres of pressure inside, and my main task was to remove this tiny crown cap and remove the sediments. Let's try. I saw how it is done. First, they evaluate how correct the yeast hue is. Now let's see how much sparkles are left. Well, according to my calculations, that's about 550 milliliters. That is, 200 millimeters was used to remove the lees. Speaking in professional language, I would have been sacked on the first day of work in this position. Well, congratulations, this was your first bottle. There are only just 999,999 left. Seeing as it all happened so fast, I didn't even realize it at first. You have done a very professional job. Look here, please. By the way, it's crystal clear. That is, all the sediments were removed. Absolutely right. Congratulations, thank you.
Here it is, placenta. I have been looking for genuine Moldovan placenta the whole day. It's simply a cake filled with cheese, for example. This one is filled with cabbage. And they can also be filled with meat, apples, cherries, celery, and all kinds of fillings. They're like our fried dumplings. Dough and potatoes. It's delicious. One placenta like this a day and you will definitely gain lots of weight. Placenta is a sad name, but I will be really happy.
Due to the fact that our range of wines is quite extensive, we have chosen 5 countries from where we buy barrels: Romania, Hungary, France, Italy, and the US. The maximum amount of wine that we can store here simultaneously is almost 40 million liters. And if we were to distribute our wine to every resident of our country, that would amount to approximately 10 liters per person. It's worthwhile being friends with you, definitely.
What is ahead in our program is the most anticipated: Moldovan wine tasting in the Presidential Hall of Cricova. Many renowned world leaders visited here: Mao Zedong, Kim Il-sung, Jacques Chirac, Angela Merkel, Nikita Khrushchev, Leonid Brezhnev, and others. Although the wife of Boris Yeltsin, who was known as Drunkard, forbade him to visit this place. I'm glad to see you.
You look stunning, as always.
What do we taste today? Tell me.
Grand Vintage. That is, it is a sparkling wine of the highest quality. Because it was prepared in a specific year of grape harvest, there must be a string here. We could use it. So we don't need a corkscrew at the moment. These particular bottles of sparkling wine can be opened with chippers, if they were stored for many years in a cellar and the cork is impossible to screw out. Such situations happen sometimes. But that should not be of concern.
It's not going to shoot the cork out, is it? There, we cut the wine with the chippers. It wants to be tasted itself already. Give me a hint. What is it? Honey? It's sediment. My God, I don't know what this is.
When sparkling wine is made by the classic method, it means that It has to mature for a certain period of time, at least 9 months. There is a manufacturer in the world that ages wine on sediments for 10 years. Thanks to the fact that it is preserved by sediments for so long, it is saturated with this yeasty tinge. As a result, it has an aroma of rye breadcrumbs. We're switching to white wine. This white wine is incredible. It is incredible because it is made from the grape variety that was found in the possession of the locals only some 20 or 30 years ago. It was restored, planted in vineyards, and now we can ferment it and then taste it. The Eureka.
What is this variety called?
The capsule depicts the flag of Moldova.
So, are we going to taste it? Some white?
Now let me relax for a bit while you describe the wine.
Well, white it is.
Basically, that's the most important feature.
I think it's dry, young enough. I sense the scent of honey,
Yes,
or jasmine, or acacia.
acacia.
I finally want to try it.
Have you not drunk it
I
yet?
haven't.
Our next bottle is also sparkling wine, from the driest to the sweetest. That is, it's going to be a bit sweeter than the previous one.
Тобто це буде трішки солодше, ніж попереднє ігристе.
This one is just pink. It has the aroma of red wine and the taste of white wine.
I'm somewhat nervous. It's a childhood trauma, sorry.
Коли відкриваєш,
When they uncorked Soviet champagne, I always ran out of the room.
I'll pour it into a glass that is traditionally used to drink sparkling wine and into a glass that is now recommended by every decent sparkling wine producer.
знаєш, мені
You know, I think the pink color of the sparkling wine is not very saturated.
And what does it say?
це говорить,
That tells me that it's young.
And that it is very soft and tender.
ой,
Oh, strawberry.
давай. Бачиш,
See, this glass is full, so you can't pour any more into it.
I'll drink from it. Unfortunately, we have a bad habit of giving sparkling wine with a box of chocolates or a chocolate bar.
Або якусь шоколадку. Ніколи не роби.
Never make this mistake, because sparkling wine and chocolate are two incompatible things.
Пропоную звернути увагу.
Pay attention to the glass. What do you think? How much fluid can they hold?
дай.
Let me hold it. Well, I think it could fit about half a liter.
Пів літра рідини сюди може і помістити.
У нас є пляшка білого.
We have a bottle of white wine. How much is left in it?
Well, we drank maybe 150 milliliters.
How much is left?
We have 600 left. This is a simple math lesson for you, my friends.
So there's now about a half left.
Listen, this glass is truly fantastic.
The capacity of this glass is 980 milliliters. This is a wonder produced by Riddle and is called Glass 001. This is currently the most universal glass in the world. It can be used to drink either sparkling or pink or red wine.
Приходить чоловік до
So the husband comes home in the evening and asks, "How much did you drink?" "Just one glass." And what's most important, that is the honest answer.
всього. І чесно ж відповіла, що головне чесно.
So it is a glass that allows you to not tell lies. In fact, Moldova is at such a high level that it is blessed with well-regulated wine-growing regions, which are divided into zones, and there are zones that are controlled by name. One of them is called Kodru. Almost the last bottle of harvest of 2011, because the one from 2012 is now on sale. This suggests that the wine is more mature.
Нам дали просто
We were given an exclusive version of this wine.
ой,
Oh, it's such a beautiful cherry color.
Складається на 70
It consists of 75% Cabernet Sauvignon and 25% Merlot.
Мерло.
This is something nasty.
Walking along the shore in Turkey, go to a store where they sell leather bags.
точно.
You're right, that's leather.
Це шкіра.
Oh, this is a leather jacket.
Це шкіряна
Вона
куртка.
тут
It is very concentrated here. There's also leather, but with a slight tint.
все достатньо.
Well, that's it, enough.
I just haven't been to Turkey for a long time.
And now, pay attention. The promised password. Remember it. Be the first to come to the Cricova winery. say the password, and get a prize.
You know, I've been walking around the country and learning the word placenta. It's their national dish. It's delicious, by the way. I was worried that I wouldn't fit into my dress after this meal. And so the password is placenta.
I suggest drinking this glass of wine in honor of Moldova. I'm very glad for it, as a wine country, and I'm proud that we have a neighbor that I must admit is 20 years ahead of us in the winemaking industry.
I'm glad we came here.